Welcome to Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N and welcome to yet another top 5 list.
The concept is simple. The Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N are given a subject and are asked to secretly rank their top 5 favourites in order. 5 points for first, 4 points for second, 3 points for third, and so on. The votes have been counted and verified to give you the ultimate top 5 list.
Our topic today is top 5 Will Smith films in honor of Bad Boys for Life, which is coming out in January 2020. Will Smith has been on our screens for a very long time, transitioned from rapper to TV superstar to Hollywood leading man, a career spanning 30 years. He's had some good films, he's had some bad films.
Very bad films.
But we're here to talk about the best ones, the creme de la creme.
See?
Some of the younger people might not know he was a rapper.
That is true.
Yeah. Did you know he was a rap? Did you know he was a rap?
Sorry. Do you know what his first single was?
11 agents submitted their list, so without further ado, can we request the envelope, please? The envelope of truth. Thank you very much. So, of course, we're going to start with the 5th place pick. This film only appeared on 5 of the 11 lists. So, in 5th place, with 14 points, is
That's quite low.
How many lists?
It's only on
and
that.
only on 5 of the 11.
So it must be bad.
Which isn't strange because he has a
What's
very wide filmography.
He does.
Yeah, he does. It is big. It is big.
That being said, Greg, it was number 2 on your list.
Wow.
Tell us why.
That is high.
I think at the time when it came out, it was one of the first times we saw Will Smith in a movie comedy. We'd seen what he could do in Fresh Prince. Then he came out of a few movies, and this time he showed the funny side, the chemistry of Martin Lawrence, the whole cool cop, so to speak. It was a revolutionary movie. Right, revolutionary is too strong.
Maybe for him.
That's a lot. But it put him on the map. It kept him on an upward trajectory.
Yes.
Right. It was a very solid movie. It was something that was spoke about in our school, because it came out in our school. It's lines you could remember, lines you could. It was just a very good movie.
Any lines
really
that
good.
you can quote for us?
Yeah, loads, but so it was just a really good movie, and then I watched it again recently, and it held up. Wow. It held up. It was good fun. It was just a good fun movie, and when I was going through the list, I thought I would enjoy that second most.
Of the 4 of us here, Daryl, it was also on your list, number 4 on your list. What would you say about Bad Boys 1?
Kind of just echoing the same thing, is that their actual comedy prowess is just bouncing off each other. And it was always funny moments. Like, it was never like, you know, you have some of the comedies where it kind of takes a downturn. So like, for example, I'm not a massive fan of Kevin Hart movies, where I feel like, no shots, but when I feel like with his movies, he tried to kind of do a similar thing with Ice Cube, and I don't think it worked as well.
Okay.
In the sense that, you know what, he's always playing the same character over and over again. Whereas at least with Will, it was you were getting different characters. You may be a comedian, but you are getting different. You're always making that face, and I'm trying to understand. But I'm comparing them because it was a buddy cop film.
I think I understand what you mean.
And
Yeah.
the reason it was number 2 for me as well is because we were clamouring for number 2. That wasn't something that was just out of nowhere. When number 2 was announced, it was like, we needed this, we want this. It was like, because Bad Boys 1 had such an impact. And the same thing, they've spaced them all out brilliantly, because Bad Boys 3, which will be out soon, as we're filming this, it's wanted.
I think I understand what you mean with like the dynamic between like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, because usually when you have like buddy cop, you might have one that's like straight-laced and one that's funny, but in that sense you had both of them that would kind of balance it, so you didn't have one that you would always look to for the jokes.
And you could argue, say one of them was a serious comedian.
Yeah.
And then the other one was kind of like yeah.
So neither myself or Aaron put Bad Boys 1.
Mad.
And quite frankly, I'm flabbergasted
Okay.
that you guys placed it higher. than Bad Boys 2, which in my very humble opinion is a better movie than Bad Boys 1.
Was you lot around when Bad Boys 1 came out, or was you like...
I was alive.
around? Was you just like, you know, it wasn't really your era, that's what I'm saying.
I enjoyed the film, I enjoyed the film.
Maybe that's what it is, it's just the era thing,
Maybe. Fair enough. So that is our 5th place pick, Bad Boys 1. So, of course, onto the 4th place. With 18 points, this film finished as number 1 the same amount of times as the 5th place pick.
Oh, so once.
Yes, once.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually working out.
In 4th place, as I said, with 18 points is...
Really?
Yes.
What? Over Bad Boys 1?
Oh no, yeah, that's what.
That's
Listen, we've gone through
what?
Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 1 was my number 2.
Obviously, we can't account for the agents that are not present right now.
Okay.
They placed it higher, number 1,
Right.
number 2, and stuff like this.
I would love to hear that.
So you're the sole advocate for I Am Legend. So is there anything you want to?
Oh, no one else had it. No one here had it on the list.
No.
Jeez, I am Legend. Yeah, for me, it's 4th for me. I think that's correct. It was a good film when it came out. It had a good ending. It had a good, solid thriller vibe throughout.
It was a very emotional film.
Emotional, end of the world sort of vibe.
Yeah.
It was good for what it was. It was.
Yeah. Although it wasn't on my 5, I enjoyed the film. I've never really seen a film like that, as in The Last Man on Earth. And it was a more serious role for him as well.
Yeah.
And there was like a psychological aspect to it, like being alone for so long, is playing tricks on his mind and stuff. I quite enjoyed that, and obviously he had the zombie aspect of it as well. So it was
and even like just little things, like he was able, and it's quite hard to kind of make a movie with one person, and he has very little interaction with anything.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean.
Yeah, and obviously you had the dog, and even just the emotional connection with the dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie to you, when that dog died, that dog hurt, man. Yeah. But it's
when he had to kill him.
Bro,
that was a very.
I remember that scene because he's sitting on the floor and he's holding the dog, and it's flipping out because it's obviously turning into a zombie or whatever, and he's just like. Bruv, that killed me.
The CGI,
that was hard.
Like I said, end of the world vibe. The way they did the deserted. Was it New York?
You know
It
what?
was New York. Was it
Like
Times Square?
Something
I think that
like
was
that,
empty.
yeah.
Whatever it was, it was just.
the scene where he was hunting the deer in the
Yeah,
car.
that's right.
That was
Yeah.
sick. That was sick.
And even like there's like bare memes of that scene where, you know, when he thinks the mannequins move.
I mean, for me personally, I can only think of 3 films better than that out of Will Smith. So I'm very interested to see what you
That's
lot got,
interesting.
because
In your opinion.
But you know what's mad? When I'm thinking about it
My
now,
opinion is-
you know, obviously we're talking about the film. I never put it on my list. But when I think about all the things that happened in that film, it was actually quite good.
and I would like to see what you think is
Damn.
better than that.
Alright, fair enough. That was a miss of mine still.
So that's our number 4 pick. I Am Legend at number 4. Moving swiftly on to number 3, getting into the nitty gritty.
Now, bronze medal.
Bronze medal
Up
place
on that podium.
with 19 points, so it only finished
Yes.
1 point ahead of I Am Legend.
Okay.
This film only appeared on 4 lists.
And it must have been so high.
Only appeared on 4 out of the 11 lists. In 3rd place, 19 points, is
On my list.
so it was number 1 on my list, and on Frank's list as well.
Alright, there you go.
Yes, there's a strong nostalgia aspect to it as well.
Yeah, I thought so.
And I thought it was a very entertaining film. As a young boy, you see in space, you see in Will Smith, he had that bravado, that charisma. The aliens coming out of the thing, he's punching the alien, it's destroying the whole city. Like, it was good. I thought it was a outstanding film.
But don't get me wrong, it's a
And
good
his
film.
first like major film.
Yeah. I mean, my only thing with that film, because you know, like what I was saying to you before, where when you rewatch a movie again,
Yeah, it's an age one.
I feel like it doesn't age well, only
Okay.
because I think the the way people filmed movies back then is very different to how they film now. So like, you know, like there's certain scenes in the film, like I don't know if you remember, like it's very cheesy comedy stuff, you know what I mean? And like there's one scene I think when that guy sacrifices himself to blow up the mothership, and he says that line, and it's just like, I watched it again and I was just like, God damn.
But that's why the second one flopped so bad. He's basically directed it the exact same.
And I think
and
maybe
it can't work. It doesn't work.
I think maybe people kind of wanted that.
Yeah.
As much as you may not want it, but you know, like you're trying to make a movie to please your old fans. Yeah, it was a bit too. I think for its time, when I watched it back then, it was a sick film. But I feel like when I rewatched, I was just like,
See,
It was number one.
Number one on mine.
It was number one on your list as well.
Number one on
What do you
mine.
have to say about Independence Day?
nostalgia.
It's not nostalgia,
Okay.
right? And I hear this term being thrown around a lot, right? And I don't know what a goat is because I'm not a farmer. But I know what Jeff Goldblum is, and he's the greatest of all time. And you could see, and I know this is a Will Smith thing, but what he brought out in Will Smith in that movie, because I'm talking about the movies Will Smith is in, Jeff Goldblum just elevated the movie.
Wow.
Which automatically elevated Will Smith's performance. It was a breakout role. He just come out of Fresh Prince. He proved he was a credible actor. And going back to the nostalgia thing, that's a film I can watch now. I can put it on tomorrow and watch it. Every now and then they show these movies on E4, ITV, Dave, whatever it is. If it's on, I'll be like, okay. And you sit there and you just, doesn't matter whereabouts you watch it.
There's certain films.
And you're like, right, you just sit down and watch it, and you're like, it could be halfway through. And Independence is that movie in the Will Smith catalogue for me.
Okay.
There's other films I can't bother. As soon as I see Independence Day, it's getting watched.
And speaking on nostalgia, I think it might be unfair to say like these films haven't aged well because you have to judge them based on how you viewed them at the time. Because the films that we're watching right now, in 20 years' time, they may not age well, but you have to kind of like.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, but I think there's some films that transcend that to example.
Yeah, of course.
So for example, like you said with the example and when a film comes on, you kind of just have to sit down and watch it. Like for me, that would be like a Back to the Future 2. Like I could actually, but even the cinematography in that film, I don't think it's aged at all. Like it's actually a timeless movie. Yeah, so
fair enough. And Aaron, it was number 3 on your list. Anything you want to add about Independence Day?
No, I'm just echoing what you lot have said. What's wrong?
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying.
Okay.
I'd love to know what your number 1 is though.
Okay, cool. Alright, whatever. But yeah, no, really good film, good action film. Lots of comedy in it as well, even though the subject is obviously it's a serious subject, alien invasion. Great performance from Will Smith.
And have you seen many alien invasion films before that point?
Yeah, there were at the time. Odyssey, but not as many, not as frequent, but there were
that
some.
definitely set the pace.
Definitely.
More
iconic status.
And as I said, it only appeared on 4 lists, and that's you get 3 of them here now. So, Independence Day at number 3, bronze place.
I'm sorry, that's just. Do you know what? I can't wait to watch the end. That's
what I'm saying.
Moving on to the silver place, the second best Will Smith film of all time, according to the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, with 21 points. This film only appeared as number 1 on 1 list. In second place, with 21 points, is
Oh wait, so that was number 1 once?
Yes.
Wow.
But being that Men in Black didn't place on my list at all, I'm gonna kick it to one of you guys. So Aaron, you placed at number 2 on your list. So what do you have to say about Men in Black?
That's an iconic film, personally.
General pop culture.
Yeah, massive.
I think that was truly the film that he shined in my opinion. Like it was
Probably
probably
shown before that, but
but I mean, this film was like it was
put him A-list.
Yeah, it was pretty much all him. Like obviously, what's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Exactly, I don't even bloody remember.
That's a troll.
But obviously he was in it. I get that, but the film was him. Like it was all.
Yeah, the soundtrack.
Yeah, like
sick film.
Sick
Music video.
It's got a ride.
It's got great special effects as well.
In Orlando, whatever it is.
Yeah, the whole thing, man, from start to finish. The special effects, the
story,
cameos you don't even know about until like years later. All the Easter eggs.
The only thing I can remember is when he puts on the glasses and he's like, I make this look good. That's all I can remember.
What the hell? What, I don't remember like when he.
No, I don't remember he had the small gun.
And even
when he
first
was it Neuralizer?
Yeah,
that was like
Neuralizer,
when that first.
when he
everyone
first goes in
wanted
for like
it.
the audition, and everyone's like, he's got all like these army guys and these like sick
Yeah,
army
that's-
dudes.
And he's got some.
And he pulls the table like this bare guys.
And he shoots the little girl in the head, and they're like,
What are you doing? Yeah.
why is she out in the middle of the street smiling?
I was
Actually, I should have put that on.
No, that film was hard, man. And I mean,
So I got
even
no complaints.
I mean, even that film, I feel also like it even spawned a lot of, like I think they even had a team, they had a cartoon about it.
The cartoon was sick.
Yeah. Like
That's what I'm saying.
it's a big film. Yeah.
It's
It's a big film. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that film. It was an iconic film. It's a legendary film.
So you guys happy with Men in Black at number 2?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay, so at number 2 we have Men in Black, the iconic Men in Black. So moving on to what we've all come here for, the number 1 pick, the best Will Smith film of all time, according to the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, you know? All the votes were counted and verified accurately, so we're left with the result. This movie, of course, finished number 1 the most times and appeared on the most lists. So, according to the votes, it's a fair pick. So, at number 1, with 27 points is... Yes.
You know what? I knew it. You know why I said I knew it? You know what I said? Okay, no. I tell you why I knew that, because I said it was out of 2. It was the one of my personal favourites, and it was out of this one.
It's a superb acting performance from Will Smith.
Yes.
Superb.
Yes. Probably one of his best.
Probably his best
In
performance.
terms of performance, yeah.
Is it his best film? Is it the best film? No.
So, it was number 2 on my list.
Right.
So I will say why. It was his first, it's 100% serious role I've ever seen him. I agree. The story was very inspirational as well. And if you didn't have a tear in your eye in the final scene, or in the scene where he was with his son in the bathroom, he's trying to bang on the door, he's trying to keep him out, all of that.
Yeah.
Like you must be dead inside. But it was a great film. I enjoyed it. I know the argument's gonna say favorite film on the balance of best performance, but I kind of combined the two. It was one of my favorites because of that same reason. It wasn't number 1, but it was a very strong film, and it kind of showed that he could do both, because before you wouldn't want to say he's like a one-trick pony, but he's known for doing a specific type of role, and that just kind of broke everything. Took him as a added credence for a serious actor.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the father and son combination of them, because obviously it was his real son as well. You're channeling that, that emotion to think that was your son. So imagine doing a film. You're probably doing. How would you feel if you're holding your real son? And that situation is happening to you. Do you know what I mean? So I feel that helped him channel that ability. I mean, I've seen him do it before, especially that Will Smith episode with the dad and all that. And I've always felt that like he's really good at playing that role where it's like he tugs on these strings, right? And I remember he did an interview about that Fresh Prince episode, and he said it's nothing to do with my dad. I just done it. Like there was no, I didn't have no deep-seated shit. So I mean, especially that film for people that have father issues and stuff like that, it really does.
Or maybe as a parent as well. I mean, I watched the film
too,
when I wasn't a parent. I may see it through different eyes now. I know, that's not the, what's the word I'm looking for, the barometer of how you pick films, but I'm saying it may give me a different perspective on it. It was a good film. Number 1 for me, probably not. Number 1 acting performance, definitely.
He's got such good scenes in that film. It's too heart-wrenching sometimes. Like this guy's trying to make ends meet and it's just not working for him.
And the story, if you think about it, it's not really that interesting.
No, it's not.
Like he's going around trying to sell these things. But Will Smith, he made it into something that you care about.
And he really made you feel for his character, because I tell you, there was like 3 moments in that movie where I was just like, this is just not right for this guy, man. Like even the bit when he's trying to sell that machine and he's trying really hard to sell the machine, and I think he leaves it on the bus or something. And I was just like, oh, give this guy a break, man. And then especially the bit at the end, I thought, alright, this guy's not gonna. You realise how much he's gone through, and then the guy just tells him he's got the job. and he can't even fathom that it's even real. Like it took him so long, to actually realise, raw, like this is me. Like when he's walking down the stairs, I'm not gonna lie, that bit was a bit flipping heart-wrenching for man, But yeah, he really did sell that performance, man.
Amongst us, it probably plays the highest, I think. Other films in the list in his filmography, I enjoyed it, but it didn't move me as much. And move doesn't necessarily mean emotional, or it doesn't make me, the story resonated with me more than the other films. Like Men in Black, I can't criticize it, but it's not something that I will, it doesn't resonate. It's more like popcorn cinema. But that's why it featured at number 2 on my list.
Obviously the heart-wrenching stuff, and it is an emotional movie, but there is an even more emotional movie than that, which made my number 1. I doubt you lot have seen.
I've seen it.
But you've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, then you should not.
He's talking about £7.
That for me,
like that's the film he's going on.
That,
you ain't seen it.
That film,
that's his number 1,
bruv.
I think James might as well.
Nah, bruv, that film. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that.
So that has been our top 5 Will Smith films according to the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. If you agree or disagree, let us know what is your personal top 5 as well. But before we conclude the episode, we are of course going to show you how each individual agent voted. So it's going to be on your screen right about now. So to conclude, that is our top 5 list. Will Smith, of course, has an amazing filmography. Some films just missed out, such as
Take a walk with me, just walk it with me. Take a walk with me, come on and make your neck work.
Just on the brink of making this, but unfortunately, someone has to miss out. So that being said, that has been our list. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for another top 5 coming very soon. Possibly an Eddie Murphy top 5. That would be another controversial list. I think
That's going to be controversial.
Mate.
Just to pick 5 films out of almost 40 years. But anyway, thank you for watching, and until the next video, see you again soon. Peace.